Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Daddy Academy. We have a fun one for you today, something a little bit different, all right? We surveyed 100 of you ladies about some of the most commonly asked dating questions. I'm gonna try to guess the number one answer and then let you know if I agree or disagree with your takes. Let's get into it. This is gonna be tricky, all right? I'm gonna try to get myself in the head of a young Academy member and see if I can get myself in that space, but I feel like I have a pretty good woman brain. I feel like my brain is inherently a little woman at times. So let's get to the first question. Chris, what do we got?
How many dates before you expect exclusivity?
Oh, all right. I'm going to say, you ladies probably say, I would say 8 to 10, but I'm going to go 9.
You're high.
I'm high.
Top result is 5 dates.
5 dates before being exclusive? Ladies, come on now. Like, okay, 5 dates, if you do it the way I discuss, timing out dates, 1 date per week for the first month, that would put you around a month, which if that's the case, I would say, yeah, perhaps, I think that could work, but the way you guys tend to date is you'll see the guy like 4 times in 1 week. So for a lot of you, you're saying 5 dates, but you really mean like 2.5 weeks. And that's absolutely batshit crazy if you ask me, because you don't know this person. Realistically, you need to know somebody at least 2 months before being willing to even be in a relationship with them. So yeah, I would say more like 8 to 10 is the sweet spot, but you guys say 5. I understand it. Hey, it is what it is.
How many minutes late is acceptable for a first date?
Okay, well, first things first, ladies, you guys are the ones that are typically late. All right, so let's just like straight up just tell it like it is. And so for you, if a man's late, I don't think a man should be more than 10 minutes late tops for a man. 5 would be acceptable, but realistically, I mean, this is just my opinion, a guy should be there early. Okay, daddy gets there early. You talk to the hostess and you kind of get the best table in the house. That's the way to do it. But so let's just say 5 minutes.
You were close with the first time. 10 minutes was the top.
10 minutes, okay. And I think that's a pretty good sweet spot regardless. For women, you guys get like an extra 5. I would say 15. But if you're doing the I want to be fashionably late thing and you show up 15 minutes late, you got to come in kind of hot. You can't come in with like subpar energy 15 minutes late. If you're going to do that game, you got to come in and like work it. All right? So, yeah, there's a little give and take there. But if you know you're going to be late as the guy or the woman, you should let the person know as soon as possible. So they're not like, sitting around waiting around for you thinking that like, oh, is she even showing up? Is he even showing up? Yeah. All right, so I was close with that one, I think.
What's the maximum number of drinks on a first date before it's a red flag?
So, all right, as a guy, so how many drinks should a guy drink before it's a red flag? So here's the thing, as the man, you kind of gotta you gotta know you're on a date with a woman and you don't want her to try to keep up with you because that could just lead to not great situations. There's a lot of layers to this, Chris. There's a lot of layers that I can get into, but I'm gonna guess that you ladies probably are gonna say 3. I feel like 3 is probably like the safe bet here.
You polled 100 women and the top answer was 3 drinks.
Okay, yeah, 3. See, I think 3 is safe, right? You both have 3 drinks, you go home. 3 drinks is somewhere, or put you a little bit over 2 hours probably. So that's a good date. But I do want to say this. If you're having an amazing time, right? And you're still both like, no one's blacking out. You guys are both fine, right? Cognitively fine. Don't overthink it. Right? If you're having an amazing time, the date goes 3 hours, maybe pushing even 4 hours at times. If it's I just completely stuttered there. I got excited. If it's a 7 o'clock date and it goes from like 7 to 11, like, so what? You're having fun as long as both people are still like cognitively there and not drinking too much, that's fine. So if it ends up being 4 drinks, maybe 5 drinks, like I said, some people are gonna be like, no, I don't want that. But if you're having fun, you're having fun. Don't overthink it. But 3 is probably a good sweet spot here. You don't want a guy that's drinking like 6, 7, 8 drinks and you stopped at 2. That's kind of weird. You gotta go based off of, 1 for 1, 1 for 1. If you stop, he should stop. Just, you gotta kind of feel it out.
How much time should pass before you introduce him to friends?
Okay, this is interesting because I've changed my opinion on this, all right? When it comes to friends, or you could say like a sibling, so like maybe like your sister or your brother, mom and dad, that needs to wait until after you're official. I will not, that's my stance on that. When it comes to friends, talk about friends, okay? I think they can meet your friends pretty early, but I'm gonna guess what you guys probably said, maybe around a month of knowing him. That probably feels about right. So maybe you got 3 or 4 dates under your belt and then you meet the friends. That's kind of what I would recommend anyway, but what do you think? Tell me, Chris.
The top response was 1 month.
1 month, yeah, that feels about right. Because you don't want to introduce them after a first date or a second date. You want there to be, for you two to build a little bit of a connection before you introduce them to other people. But I do think it's good to, so as I was saying, my stance has changed. I used to think wait longer to do that so that your friends' opinions aren't swaying maybe what you're thinking, perhaps. But now the way I think about it is like your friends or your sibling, if you're really people you're really close to, they know you, they have a vision for you. And sometimes when we get blinded by love, we don't really see what's good for us or what's not good for us that clearly at times. So I think around a month is a perfect time to introduce friends or like a relative, like a sister or a cousin or something along those lines. I think I'm doing pretty well right now. I think I think I know your brains well enough at this point. But there are some points that I feel a little like could sway either way, but just based off of my personal experience. But I think I'm doing okay right now. The professors, I think I'm acing the test.
How many texts per day is the right amount when dating?
Okay. How many texts per day? Do you think, based off the answers, Chris, do you think people are thinking of it like, I text you, you text me, that's 2? Or individual from that person?
I would assume it is, let's call it from this person.
From this person.
Making a proactive
Okay.
contact.
All right, so I would say 5 feels kind of good. Like 5's a good happy medium number. Yeah, I'm gonna say 5. 5 per day. Early on dating, 5 texts.
The top response was 5 texts.
Yeah, come on. That's perfect, because 5 texts would mean maybe you, like a few texts in the like late morning, like 11 or so, then maybe sort of in the afternoon, 1 or 2, and then like 1 or 2 at night, right? That was 6, but like you get what I'm saying. Somewhere around that feels like a good cadence because you're spacing out the response times. You're not always gonna be answering boom, 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 boom. If we're answering an hour later, it's great. Space it out throughout the day. The conversation rolls into the next day so that you're not getting in like too heavy of a flow too quickly with somebody. So 5 texts a day and it continues to roll into the next day is a perfect cadence for an early stages of dating. So I got that right. I got it right.
How long should you wait before replying to a text from someone you like?
Okay, I think a simple answer is an hour. I think, okay, but some people might be like, well, I don't want to play games. Okay, well then answer them back right away all the time and then watch how he ghosts you, okay? So the sweet spot is an hour, okay? But then there's times where you'll answer quickly. There's times where you might wait 2 hours. And it's not playing games, it's just understanding how to build and maintain attraction. So I'm saying an hour.
But you think women say an hour too?
Oh, women probably don't think an hour. Women probably want a guy to answer very quickly. Yeah, I would say an hour. I would still say an hour.
Okay. Final answer?
Final answer.
The top response was 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, and listen, there's no like real right or wrong here. Every once in a while you could answer a guy pretty quickly like that, and that's fine. But you can't do that all the time. Very early on, because then, okay, if you're answering every 15 minutes and he's answering every 15 minutes, then how many, remember the question before that? Then how many texts in a day is that? The math isn't mathing, okay? To the professor, I don't see the math there. 5 texts a day, but we're answering every 15 minutes, then what? That's like 30 texts in a day. Before 9 a.m., yeah, right. So I would say you got this 1 hour. Response times, right? In the afternoon when work is over, right? Okay, then you could answer a few times like boom, boom, boom. But you gotta play around with the cadence. But I think a rule for yourself being around an hour most of the time. Listen, as you guys start to develop a relationship, as far as like you've gone out, 4 or 5 times, things are going great. Then the rule book, we can start to tear up the rule book. And really, I mean, there really is no rule book. Anything can kind of work, but these are just best practice. That's a scary answer, ladies. That was a scary, that's a scary answer. Especially if you just met this guy. Come on.
How long should a good first kiss last?
How long should a good first kiss? All right, let me tell you, let's test it out. Oh, ready? You guys can't watch. All right, no, realistically, let me play it in my head. Now I gotta really play it in my head. Probably somewhere around 6 to 10 seconds. So let's split the difference there. So I gotta put myself in your shoes, right? How long do would a woman want a first kiss to be? Because I think men would typically kind of go on the longer side, right? A lot of men want the heavy petting makeout, not all guys, but you get what I mean. Where I think you guys probably go more on the shorter side, right? Short, sweet, a little passion, a little vibe in there, but like nothing too much, right? Not really any tongue. Maybe you slip into it, like a little tongue gets in there, but just very, very with tasteful tongue, all right? I want to say, and I agree with this too. I actually agree with what I'm about to say. Somewhere around like 7, 8 seconds. We'll go 8 seconds.
The top response was 8 seconds.
8 seconds, baby. Come on now, Dad knows what he's talking about. No, I think that's the perfect sweet spot. Like I said, nothing too crazy. This is just like seeing if you have sexual chemistry. I mean, that's what it is. It's like without sleeping with somebody, you could learn a lot just from a kiss. And right, like I said, we're not going too overboard with it. It's gonna be tasteful, like a movie, okay? It's not a big, heavy makeout. Did I say makeout? No, we didn't say make out, okay? It said a kiss. Yeah, I'm glad I agree with you guys.
How much money should a first date roughly spend?
Oh, so it's hard to say a little bit because it depends on where you are in the country. I live in New York City, so I'm gonna talk about it from a New York City perspective. I would say no less, okay, this is like the bottom tier, okay? Because there's tiers above, right? I would say realistically, I'm just gonna say $150 because that feels like a few drinks each person. And like on a first date, I usually don't say dinner. I think a nice vibey cocktail lounge is kind of the way to go. So I'm gonna say $150. Realistically, if I'm going out in New York City, it's probably more like $250, $3. Like you're kind of pushing that direction. Plus the Ubers, which I don't know if the Ubers are sort of included in this thought process. It pushes higher than that. But I would say $150 as like a low point probably feels about right. So that's what I'm gonna say.
The top response was $100.
$100, okay, that makes sense. That's fine, right? So depending, women all over the country, some spots, some parts in the country aren't as expensive as in New York City or as in LA or like a Miami. So yeah, $100, you take the cut for the inflation, the city inflation, $100. I think we're right on par. I got that one right.
What's the minimum height you date?
What's the minimum height that women would date?
Yes, the top response.
Okay, the top response, I think, if this guy is like really cool, great personality, I'm gonna go 5'9". That's the minimum. 5'9's the minimum, right? That's tough. That's tough to hear for some of my short kings out there, guys. You can still get these women. You're fine. Just have a good personality and actually be cool, all right? And you'll do all right, all right? So don't listen to this, fellas. Don't listen to this. But I think women probably say 5'9".
Top response was 5'9".
I'm on the money, baby. Come on.
Daddy's heating up.
Daddy's heating up. It's a heater. No, I mean, like, I get it. I think realistically, okay, most women are shorter than 5'9". You have some women who are taller, right, obviously. But I think as long as a guy, this is so bad. And I'm just telling, hey, listen, fellas, I'm just saying what they're thinking, okay? If she's on the taller side, 5'6", 5'7", you'd still be 2 inches taller than her. Most women are cool with that. If they're on the shorter side, you'd be like 4 or 5 inches taller than her. So that it makes sense why 5'9" would be the answer. But yeah, I mean, it sucks for my short kings out there. A woman would rather date a 5'9" stud, cool, makes money, has a passion in life, good sense of humor, than a 6'2" dude who's just like a dud. So don't let it get you down, but I knew that 5'9" would be the answer.
How many days should it take for a guy to ask for a second date?
Oh, good question. I would say, how many days? within 3 days. So, like, because let's say you went out on a Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say 3 days to give a little grace period. Not every guy is gonna ask right after the date, although I think that's the best case scenario. Date ends, you guys are both like, we should totally do this again sometime. Or within a day or so, like maybe you guys are texting and it kind of comes up. But a lot of times guys wanna give some space. It's good practice, right? Good best practice for men. I would give men this advice, wait like 2 or 3 days. But I don't know if that's what you women want. So like that's what, but here's the thing. You say you don't want it, but you actually respond to it. So you kind of do want it. So it's kind of like, even if your answer is less than 3 days, you still respond to it when it's 3 days. But 1 day would be really quick, where if you're really into the guy, it'd be fine. But if you were like so-so and a guy tried to do it 1 day, you guys would get the ick. So I think women might say 2 days, but I want to say I think 3 days is still totally acceptable.
The top response was 2 days.
2 days, all right. See, yeah, I guessed it. I think 3 days is appropriate though. If it's within a 3-day window, I think totally great. That's a guy with high interest. He's pushing things along. 2 days would be fine too. But the key is, as the date ended, how good were the vibes as the date ended? You know, like if they were really high, you're talking about seeing each other again, it could happen like right on the spot. Like, hey, like I want to see you again. Like, what are you doing next week? Oh, cool. All right, I'll text you tomorrow. We'll figure it out. So it just sort of depends. But all right, yeah, 2 to 3 days. I feel like, yeah, that's appropriate.
What's the maximum number of people you dated once before it feels wrong?
That's a good question. I feel like, all right, it's kind of like a roster question, or like, how many people could you see before it starts to feel wrong? Because at some point you're gonna start liking one person, and that's gonna start to change the way you think about it. I think a safe number to go is probably 3. I think 3 people feels okay. You know, maybe went on a few dates with this one, a few dates with that one, a few dates with that one, and then like as time goes on, like I said, some people drop off, you start to figure it out. Any more than 3 starts to feel like a lot. It's a lot of juggling. I'm gonna say 3. 3 feels like a good answer.
Top response was 2 people.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think men and women are maybe a little bit different in this way, where guys can go out more and put out some more feelers, where women, when you guys find somebody you like, it's very like, I want to focus on this person a little bit more, where guys tend to be a little bit slower in that sort of phase. But it's also a personal preference thing. You know, like you don't have to advise by any particular rule that doesn't feel authentic to you. If you like just dating one person, just focusing on one person, great. But if that's the case, you got to do things to kind of get your abundance mindset going up, so you don't lock in so hard with that one person. 2 people does feel like a good little juggle. I think that's fine. 3 would be the max. So any more than that, then it's a little too excessive. But yeah, I understand why women would say 2. Men would probably say 3. So we'll have to ask men next time and see what they say.
How soon is too soon to say I love you?
Ooh, how soon? All right. So what's the soonest someone could say I love you? You ladies, I think your answer might be very scary here. My opinion on it is, shouldn't be earlier than 4 months would be the earliest. And that would be like, we're official between like 2 and 3 months or so. And by like between month 4 or 5, maybe you say I love you. My opinion would be more like between like 6 and 8 months. That feels more appropriate to me. But I think you guys might say, I was gonna say 4 months, but I think you guys might say 3 months, which is a little scary. But I'm gonna say 3 months because I think that's what you're gonna say. But I would say 4 would be the earliest. But my recommendation would be 6 to 8. What's the answer?
The top response is 3 months.
3 months. I knew it. You guys watched too many Disney princess movies as a kid. I'm telling you, like that's the reason. But like, I'm not saying that you won't have the feelings of love by 3 months. You will have the feelings of love. It's just, sometimes it's better just to like hold out a little bit, wait out, just feel out those emotions, because if this is working out, the guy's not going anywhere. So you have to like assess, like, do I want to say I love you because I need to hear this response back? Or are you saying it because this is just how I feel, and I just need to tell this person this, how I'm feeling. So kind of the energetic place where it's coming from plays a big role in this too, kind of as to what I'd say. 3 months feels a little early. I would say 4 at the earliest, but hey, what can you do?
How many relationships is too many exes for a guy to have?
Let's assume he's a 30-year-old guy. I'm about to be 32, a 32-year-old guy, all right? I would say
And I would call these probably serious exes.
serious relationships. These aren't like situationships, okay? These are like someone who I said, oh, this is my girlfriend, right? I would say I'd start to be concerned if it was more than 6. I'd say more than 6 feels kind of like a lot. Because you gotta think, okay, maybe like a 2-year relationship here, 2 years, then like a 1 year, and then maybe another 1 year. I mean, like that's like 6, 7 years if you kind of add that up, right? And if he's 32, that means from when he was 20 to 30, he was in relationships for like kind of most of that time, which is actually kind of a green flag. So I'd say 6 would be too much, because then it's a lot of like 8 months, 1 year, 1 year. It's like, okay, why have you not been able to be with somebody for more than a year? Yeah, I don't know. But what do you guys think? I think you're gonna say, I think you would say 6. Say 6.
The top response was 5 exes.
All right, I was close. Okay, fine, that makes sense. Like I said, you would have to hear the stories, you'd have to know exactly how long all the relationships were. But yeah, like you wanna know that somebody has been in longer-ish relationships. But I mean, to a different point, what if he's like only had 1 ex and we dated for 9 years? That would be kind of intimidating. I would almost argue that might be worse, you know, to hear. I'm not saying that means he's bad or you're bad if that's your scenario, but like it's a different thought process. Oh, he's had 5 exes. All right, well, he's committed. He's been in committed relationships, which is a green flag that he was able to commit to 5 people. They didn't go on for that long. So then you'd have to say, what's the reason why that's the case? Is he a red flag, or is he just kind of like, he was giving people a try and just realized it wasn't for him? Depends how he describes it. But on the flip side, if it's just one long ass relationship, okay, yeah, he's committed, but is there any baggage there that I gotta be worried about? So there's pros and cons to kind of both answers, but 5, all right, I get it.
How long should sex wait in terms of number of dates?
Okay, all right. I think the sweet spot, okay, because we're not like the Virgin Mary here, right? We're adults, so this is an adult answer. But it's your preference, right? Whenever it feels appropriate for you to wait, you wait. But if someone's asking for my recommendation, I think the sweet spot number is like 5 dates. I think as a woman, if you hold out for 5 dates, very appropriate, classy, a guy's gonna respect that. Not that he wouldn't respect you if you did it earlier, it's just you're giving the man and the relationship time to see how it progresses, and you could learn if his intentions are true and pure. Can things still not work out? Yes, but at the very least, you've raised your standard of how you wanna be treated, and then you'd only sleep with a guy who treats you well for about a month or 5 dates or so. So I'm gonna say 5 dates. That's my answer.
The top response was 3 dates.
3 dates. All right, ladies, all right. Getting after it. No, I think 3 dates is, as it's generally thought of, is usually probably when it happens. Like that's what I've noticed, but that's why I say bump it up to 5, right? Make him sweat it out a little bit. Because if the guy in his mind says, I want to be able to hook up with her by 2 or 3 dates, and you make him wait a little bit longer, and that was his only intention, he'll leave. He's gonna bounce. He's just gonna bounce, be like, I don't want to wait around and put more investment in here. And if that's the case, then you just dodged a bullet. So I always say, whenever you would do it, wait like an extra date and make him sweat it out and make him prove to you that he's gonna invest in you and the relationship building. So yeah, okay, 3, I understand. But I would always say, whatever you would do, bump up 1 more date. This was fun. I feel like I did as well as I thought I would do, honestly. Like, I think that was a lot of fun. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is there one of those that stands out? Do you think about it a little bit differently? And let me know what types of videos you want to see out of me, any topics that you want me to cover, and we'll do it here. I'll see you next time.